In your business, you have three main goals: sell your product, delight your customer, and have them come back over and over again. With the world going digital, your customers want convenient digital payment options. That's why you need Pesapal, the #1 payment solutions provider for business owners just like you. Pesapal offers a seamless payment experience for your customers by providing extensive payment options and easy-to-use payment methods for both your e-commerce and in-store business. It's free for your customers, great for your business, and you get an easy-to-use dashboard for easy reconciliation and faster settlement to any bank. We've got a fast and easy setup that will integrate seamlessly with your business, so you can focus on what you do best, delivering great customer experiences. Pesapal, for all your payments, anywhere, anytime.
This used to be former Muyanga Club. Owner has taken this property, then renovated completely to run a proper mid-size good hotel services. Our services includes accommodation. We have different categories of rooms, and also we have 4 restaurants, 3 bars, and we have swimming pool. We have outdoor spaces for events. We have conference hall for a capacity between 30 to 100. At Afro Park, we use all our outlets. We use Pesapal machines. They're very quick, and they could respond very quickly. It doesn't take much time, and if you have any issues, it's answered very quickly, and it's solved very quickly. About the link payments, that is also a very secured way the transaction which happens, which is good for us as a suppliers, and it's also good for the customers who can sit at any time and at any place and can pay your payments, and also we can also get the confirmation immediately. I would all people to come here and check out our places and see the kind of place we built now, and you really like it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pesapal Cafe sessions. Wherever you're tuning in, we are happy to have you. I hope you're having a good morning, and we hope that you will find this session and this webinar educative, helpful, and impactful. So thank you for tuning in, and yeah, let's get into an amazing time. Just an introduction. Pesapal is a leading payment service provider where we build business tools for Africans to empower the businesses to receive payments, online, in person, mobile, various ways. And now with the increase in internet penetration and how the world is going digital, Pesapal has also implemented tools and solutions to, help their businesses to move forward. So today we're going to be discussing how you can enhance your e-commerce business and how Pesapal can play a role in making you go further. So we're excited, and with me, I have a great team. Hi, everyone. I have a team of experts in the industry, very sharp minds. They'll be engaging with us and share their insights. And I'll just introduce them briefly. We have Alpha Kenyatta. Hi, Alpha. Alpha, just wave.
Hi.
Yeah. Alpha is the head of sales, retail, and e-commerce here at Pesapal, Uganda. He has a deep passion for using technology to drive financial inclusion and is committed to delivering cutting-edge solutions and he's very customer-centered, and his team is doing great things in the market. Thank you, Alpha. Right next to him, we have Ben. Hi, Ben. Just wave to the people. So Ben, hi, Ben. Ben is a business development manager in the retail and e-commerce sector at Pesapal, Uganda, reaching far wide into the petroleum space, supermarket space, and also enhancing our e-commerce platform. So we're happy to have you on the platform, Ben. Then we have with us Mr. Isao Otika. Hi, Isao. Hi, Isao is the technical director here at Pesapal Uganda, and he has helped merchants across Uganda to implement technology-based solutions to move their businesses forward. So we'll learn so much from his expertise in technology and innovation, and we know that you'll learn a lot. So thank you for being with us, Isao. Last but not least, very important man, Anthony, Mr. Anthony Irungu. He's the head of risk and compliance, Pesapal, and he has over 15 years of progressive experience in risk analysis and treatment. He's done auditing leadership and risk management across different sectors. Plus, he's an expert in banking and financial services. So we know that he'll be a valuable asset in ensuring the success of all the businesses that are tuned in. So we are happy to have you, Anthony.
Hi, everybody.
All right. So I think we'll get straight into it. So Pesapal has what we call the Pesapal API. Okay. Maybe we can start off with Isao. Can you tell us more about this API and tell us what makes this Pesapal API 3 stand out from other payment solutions in the market?
Okay, thank you, Hannah, for that. So Pesapal API 3 is the latest generation of Pesapal's online payment module. So we went back to the drawing board and built from almost scratch an entirely new platform that allows businesses connect to us online. Some of the improvements we have brought on board is mobile money, prompt payments, improved mobile user interfaces, 3D secure payments, and much more. So just as a background, an API is an application programming interface. So what this does, it allows systems to benefit from what has already been built. So for example, if you have an application that sells shoes and you want to add a payment option to that, instead of building an entire payment system of your own, you simply look for a payment API such as Pesapal's, and then you connect to it. So our latest API allows you to accept payments from across the world. And some of the improvements we brought on board are prompt-based payments for mobile money. So instead of the long process where you have to use a USSD menu and follow a set of steps to make a payment, you simply receive a prompt as a customer, enter your PIN, and then the payment is complete. So it makes it a much more pleasant experience when checking out of a store using mobile money. The second area of focus that we put ourselves on API 3 is improved mobile user interface. So we put more focus on the mobile and the smartphone. So the experience that you get on, let's say, a laptop or a desktop has now been translated into your mobile phone. So when you're checking out on the move, you get a very smooth navigation on your phone. Everything fits on your screen very well, and you're able to make your payments smoothly. Then the third important improvement we made on this API is the introduction of 3D Secure. So 3D Secure is an additional layer of security on top of the normal card payments. So it works by requiring the pair or the card owner to enter a one-time PIN or a secret PIN to confirm that they actually own the card. So this additional layer of security gives a sense of comfort or trust to the one paying as well as to the merchant. Since from the merchant side or from the business side, you're almost guaranteed that this payment is legitimate and it's actually been made by a customer that owns the card. So you're guaranteed to avoid chargebacks. Then for the developers side, we also made a couple of improvements, and one of those is the introduction or the support for modern languages, modern development languages, such as JSON. So this allows developers now integrate from any platform or any programming languages much easier. Previously on the older API, we only supported XML, but with the ever-changing improvements on the technology landscape, we had to adopt and introduce JSON support for developers. And in addition to that, we introduced better error messaging for both developers and customers. So what this means is while doing integration into our API, it's much easier to fix and diagnose any issues that come along. So this saves a lot of time during development, also helps businesses cut development costs. And another request that we received a lot was on IPN support. So IPN is instant payment notifications, where whenever a payment is made, sometimes we have customers have a special need to be notified about a payment. So we have improved our IPN support, so it allows you to customize how you would like to receive your payment notifications. So this is in a nutshell some of the improvements on the API 3. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sal. I see there's a lot of development that has taken place, and you brought it out very well. Now, how can the businesses use these features that you've just spoken about to enhance their platform? Or what other technical features can they use directly to enhance their businesses online?
Okay. So one of the most important things when it comes to payment is security. So one of the most important additions we put into API 3, or the latest version of our API, is 3D Secure, as I mentioned. So 3D Secure acts as an additional layer of security. So in addition to just putting your expiry date or CVV, you're required to put a one-time PIN that is unique for that transaction. So by doing this, you reduce the risk of fraud. And naturally, by offering or having available such systems, you create a sense of trust in your customers. You show that you care about their financial and personal information, not just using any payment gateway that has the bare minimum, but one that supports the highest level of security. And then as a business, one of the ways you can enhance your online presence and also protect yourself is with 3D Secure, you tend to shift the liability to the card owner. By default, if your card is enabled for 3D Secure, if a fraudulent transaction happens, typically as a merchant, you are protected, because it is expected that as a customer or a card holder, you're supposed to keep your verification device secure from fraudsters. And if indeed you realize that your card has been stolen, you should be able to report that and have your card replaced or blocked. So as from a business perspective, you protect yourself much more by supporting 3D Secure, which comes as a default on Pesapal's latest API. Also, you may be aware that compliance is becoming a more of a big issue these days. Like, for example, in the European Union regions, there is a requirement for online merchants to support 3D secure as a security layer. So by the time that gets here, you will already have that facility. So Pesapal supports 3D secure by default, which allows you as a business to remain compliant with the regulators or governance. In terms of enhancing your business stickiness of customers, we also have responsive design, meaning that our checkout page will work on a screen of any size. So whether it's a tiny phone or a tablet or even a desktop, the checkout experience will be much, much smoother. We noticed that the design heavily impacts how likely a customer is to check out. If the appearance of the checkout screen looks clunky or is not smooth, there's a high chance that the customer will not complete the payment. However, if it's looking very neat and easy to navigate and easy to understand, you greatly improve your chances of having a customer complete a payment all the way. Then with the same introduction, we also have plugins. So if you're a busy business owner or you're a small business, we have ready-made plugins that are already connected to this third generation of our API that you simply pick from our store, our Pesapal store, and you install it onto your application, which makes it much easier to get started. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Isao. I love that you brought out the experience, both from the customer side and from the client who has integrated our services. There's a lot of ease that I see comes with the Pesapal integration platform. Thanks for bringing that out, as well as trust, security, and just a better user experience. I think we'll touch more on fraud. You brought that out highly with Anthony as we go along. But I would love to also hear from the business side. Maybe Alpha can share how can merchants now leverage this amazing API that Isao has expanded on. How can they leverage it to increase their online sales and grow their businesses?
Thank you, Hannah. So, merchants can leverage on our API 3 to offer their customers a seamless and secure payment experience. So, like Isao mentioned, our API 3 comes with an ability to process card payments and mobile money payments. So that in a way helps now the merchants to tap into the local market, which is majorly dominated by the mobile money networks, and then also international payments, majorly dominated by the cards. So in that way, they can be able to make more money. Then away from that, traditional businesses operate usually between from 8 to 5, So by integrating our online payment gateway into their website, we're giving them an ability now to go over and beyond that time, So in the normal operating hours, again, business can still go on to make sales online by simply working with our payment gateway. Then our payment gateway also comes with a real-time reporting and reconciliation tool. So this tool captures valuable information for the merchants on the state of now the sales and payments made. So they can use that information to make an analysis of what has been sold, and such that now they make informed decision on and running relevant promos based on which products have more sales. Then also with the ability of the great user interface that we have, anyone can use our API when checking out. So that means that a merchant who has worked with us will be able now to tap into both the literate and literate customers because of the user interface and simplicity that we bring on table. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that. So you've talked about helping our helping businesses to reach far and wide. We help them access clients not only within their locality, but they can receive payments internationally. That's very key. Can you just maybe highlight on some best practices, maybe for them to create an e-commerce sales strategy? And how can we as Pesapal help them to create that strategy that can make them expand beyond their borders?
All right. So optimizing an e-commerce sales strategy involves offering a seamless and convenient shopping experience. So that means that the merchants have to build their online platforms, yeah, with a detailed product description, and then also offer more information on checkout. That said, so how Pesapal will come in to optimize the e-commerce sales strategy for our merchants is that now we have a team of experts that work closely with the merchants who want to understand their line of business to their target market and turnovers. So when you have that information, we can be able to build now a good customer-centric solution that now meets the business expectations. So in that way, whenever customers now visit the merchant's website and it has a very good experience, they'll be able to make payments seamlessly. So we also offer support in as far as technical support is concerned. So that also, in a way, helps our merchants to optimize their e-commerce sales strategy. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Alpha. I think one of the things that you have both highlighted, and we can go back to, is security. Isao had mentioned about 3D Secure as a feature in this Pesapal API, and how how it helps to combat fraud. So, Anthony, maybe you can share what are the most common types of online fraud that businesses need to be aware of, and how can they protect themselves? We can't hear you. Just unmute.
Apologies. Thank you so much, Hannah. As I was saying, fraud relies on deception by a person to gain a financial gain. In addition, it becomes a crime when somebody has material misrepresentment, whereby they hide something material to enable somebody else take an action that is detrimental to them. Also, fraud operates on three what we call fraud triangle, which is a financial need, and also it relies on somebody having a perceived opportunity, and finally a rationalization for the fraud. So the types of fraud we face at Pesapal are basically two types. We face frauds from professional scammers who would want to take advantage of the fact that somebody's card details have come into they've come into contact with somebody's card details. In addition, we face a type of fraud from what we call it friendly fraud, but basically when it's not friendly when you're losing the money, and it's friendly because it's termed friendly because of the fact that a person or the card holder has what we call buyer's remorse, and they are unable to they just don't believe that they should pay for something which they have already enjoyed. then what we call the supporting casts of the fraud is email phishing, which enables the card details or enables somebody to do what is called social engineering. And also, in addition to all that, we have a situation where we have identity theft. All those things at Pesapal, we are able to look through them, especially due to the new API, because of the fact that right now we are able to tell, we are able to attach an a payment reason to every transaction that we see, which enables us to better analyze the transactions that we see and be able to tell when a transaction is off.
Thank you, Anthony. Maybe you can shed more light on our role now that you've brought out the threats. How does Pesapal identify and assist businesses to prevent this fraud when they are receiving online transactions?
Okay, thank you. For us as at Pesapal, we have several ways we are able to tell when a transaction or to be able to protect our merchants better. The question of how we do it is that the first thing is that we are regulated by the Bank of Uganda, and also for money laundering purposes, we are regulated by the Financial Intelligence Authority. That means that for every transaction that we receive that might be suspicious, we are able to file a suspicious activity report or a suspicious transaction report, what are called in the industry STRs and SARs. And also, in addition, Pesapal has the highest levels of data standards. That is why we are PCI DSS compliant. And in addition, Pesapal has been around for a while. Pesapal has been in existence from 2009, which enables which means that we have accumulated experience. And as people say, experience is the best teacher. We have been able to learn as a company what works and what does not work. And this works in all ways, that is in business and also in risk, where we are able to tell what has worked before and what has not worked before. In addition, we have a very we also have a very good state-of-the-art fraud management system, which enables us to flag transactions and deal with them at based on the risk level that we notice. So all those factors and the fact that we have experienced staff who are able to tell when a transaction is suspicious enables us to be able to tell when a transaction is suspicious, and we are able to protect our merchants at all levels.
Thank you, Anthony. Yeah, that's very key. And I honestly, from the feedback we receive, we have seen an increase in fraud prevention amongst our merchants. So I see that, these features are making an impact. Just to bring it back to business now. Okay, before we bring it back to business, Isao, how easy is it to integrate this Pesapal API to e-commerce platforms? Because we've talked about all the amazing features, but when it comes to the integration, how can our customers integrate it to their website, or how easy is it?
Okay. Thank you, Hannah. I would like to say it is as easy as 1, 2, 3, but it really depends on the level of requirements that you have as a business. The simplest is a payments page where it is ready-made, and we just give you a link, and all you have to do is paste it on your website. So that's the 1, 2, 3 part. The second is via the use of plugins. So plugins are ready-made small applications that you install onto your website or your mobile app, following a certain set of instructions. For example, you have the WooCommerce plugin. So if you have a WooCommerce website, you go to our developer store, pick our WooCommerce plugin and install it on your website, and you will be able to accept payments almost instantly. Then the third level of difficulty would be a direct integration into the API. So this is usually if you have a very special or customized system where you would like to have full control of how your application interacts with our API. Maybe you have certain custom flows that you require to be inbuilt. For example, let's say you're building a biller application where you want, whenever the customer makes a payment, your system sends an API, an SMS to the account holder. So if your needs are a bit more complex, that is now where the API comes in. We have documentation readily available at developer.pesapal.com. So if you go to developer.pesapal.com, you will be able to see all our documentation. You'll be able to see our plugin store. We have quite a number of plugins for all the popular e-commerce stores, like WooCommerce, we have Magenta, you have WordPress. I can't list them all here, otherwise we'll probably spend the whole day. So those are the ways one can integrate into Pesapal. It's pretty straightforward. We also have a very active forum on the developer page, still on developer.pesapal.com. And should you feel like you need further assistance, we have a support system reachable by email, that is developer@pesapal.com, where we have a team of developers on standby to help you with your needs. We have very well-trained developers, world-class team that can guide you through your integration process. And if you feel that is still not enough for you, you can just give us a call and we'll be happy to help.
Thank you, Isao. Someone was asking what an API is. Can you just define it, just the API, before we proceed?
Okay.
And PCI.
Okay. And what's an
PCI.
API? Dear gracious. Okay. An API is a short for an application programming interface. So this is what systems or computer programs use to speak to each other. So for example, let's say I want to build an application that tells me what the weather is like. I'm not going to build a weather station. I'll simply look for a weather API, and then I connect my application to the weather API, and then I'm able to pick that information. So in the context of payments, Pesapal also provides an API that various computer programs out there or websites can make use or communicate to our Pesapal system in order to process payments within your application.
Right. Thank you,
And the
Sal.
second question, should I proceed?
Yes, please.
Was PCI-DSS, PCI, DCI. Okay. So you probably are talking about PCI-DSS, so which is a payment card industry data security standard. So there are various levels of security requirements in the payment industry that one has to be tested for and certified for in order to be granted, let's say, permission to do that business. So Pesapal has the highest level of certification when it comes to PCI DSS compliance. That is the level 1 compliance level. So this allows us to transact over 6 million transactions a day at any given time. Our systems are capable of handling securely that many payments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Isao. Can you just take us through the steps once someone has integrated? They have Pesapal on their website. What steps does Pesapal take to ensure the security of the transactions that will flow in after the integration has been done?
Okay. We have a number of security measures that we have in place. So the first step is encryption. So that is, we ensure that there's a secure layer between the application, that is the client making the payment, and our servers, and as well as the payment provider servers, the mobile money platforms and card platforms. So encryption of data ensures data security. When you put in your card details into our platform, you know it is secure. It's not transmitted in plain text. It is encrypted using some of the most strong encryption algorithms. So whoever is trying to snoop or is trying to pick your card details will not be able to do that. The second is what we call tokenization. So if your application requires card details to be stored for future reference, I'll give an example of Pesapal Mobile, where you're able to save your card and use that same card to make a transaction in the future without having to enter your card detail each time. Tokenization allows our platform to securely keep your card details. So instead of storing the actual card details, we store it as a token that can then be used in future. So your actual card details are not stored on the app or on the phone. They're stored instead as a token, which is a representation to your particular card details at the provider, at Visa, at MasterCard, or at Amex. The third item that we take seriously is we've heavily invested in fraud detection and prevention. We have some tools, one of which is CyberSource, which makes use of the latest machine learning and AI technology out there to scan card transactions to ensure that they are legitimate. We would like to ensure that our merchants are only receiving payments from legitimate customers. So it's able to, over time, get better at detecting fraudulent transactions. So those are the tools that we invest heavily for screening fraudulent transactions to ensure that you're safe as a business. And then we also have card owner verification in the form of 3D Secure. So 3D Secure, as I mentioned before, is an additional layer of security that requires the card owner to enter a unique one-time PIN that they receive from their bank for each transaction that they do. So let's say you're making a payment to a restaurant, you put in your card details, you put in your expiry date, your bank will then send you an SMS or an email to your phone, which you then have to enter into the system to complete the payment. So by having that in place, you prove to us or to the business that you indeed own that card. Then lastly is, of course, compliance with industry standards. So we have PCI DSS compliance that we just talked about. We have anti-money laundering. We have to make sure that we are not supporting such activities. We also ensure that we collect all KYC. KYC stands for Know Your Customer, which is the documentation that you have to provide as a business to prove that you are fully registered and you exist in the public domain. So in addition to KYC, we also are fully regulated by Bank of Uganda, and in other countries, Bank of Kenya and Tanzania. So having this business under regulation ensures that we adhere to the highest standards required by the regulator. Yeah. So just to summarize, in terms of how we can ensure the security of online transactions, we have encryption to protect your card details. We have tokenization for repeat payments. We have fraud detection and prevention using CyberSource and AI. We have card verification using 3D Secure, and lastly, compliance through the regulators as well as industry standards such as PCI DSS.
Thank you, Sal. That was quite thorough. Before we take a break, maybe Ben, can you share your thoughts on all these features and how it's impacting, the businesses?
Thank you, Hannah, and our dear listeners. Basically, as all the features have been explained, to a business community, what we are saying that if you you give us a chance and we serve you, because the solutions are available for you, the solutions are secure, the solution real time setups and installations. So basically, what Pesapal we are saying that if you entrust us with your business, you are in safe hands. The regulations have all been worked on. So we are just ready. The team is available, and we are in the different parts of the country and all over the world. So we are only calling for a vote of you entrusting us with the business so that we can work together, we grow together up to greater heights. Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you so much, Ben. We'll just take a short break and be right back.
In your business, you have three main goals: sell your product, delight your customer, and have them come back over and over again. With the world going digital, your customers want convenient digital payment options. That's why you need Pesapal, the #1 payment solutions provider for business owners just like you. Pesapal offers a seamless payment experience for your customers by providing extensive payment options and easy-to-use payment methods for both your e-commerce and in-store business. It's free for your customers, great for your business, and you get an easy-to-use dashboard for easy reconciliation and faster settlement to any bank. We've got a fast and easy setup that will integrate seamlessly with your business, so you can focus on what you do best, delivering great customer experiences. Pesapal, for all your payments, anywhere, anytime.
It's actually very, very wonderful to see Onomo in Kampala just develop from the shell it was when I walked in and become this lively, bright, vibrant, colorful place that it is right now.
The architecture is different of the hotel. It's African, and it's big on African brand.
So it's an incorporation of an African hotel for African people with African food to be able to actually fit into the 7 concepts of the world, but also our food is eclectic and also has a modern twist towards it as well.
Our living spaces are very harmonious with life, with art, African art to be specific, African design. It's all being made in Uganda.
We've been able to work very well with Pesapal.
This Pesapal solution that we are enjoying is the online payment. Clients can make their payments even when not at the hotel.
In this market, mobile money is really the in thing. So it's a platform that we are using because most of the guests are now used to going cashless.
I have access to the dashboard and I can access all the transactions where need be arises.
Saba Restaurant is based on the 7 hills of Kampala.
It has a hanging garden. The lighting will give you that feel of a living garden.
So it's 7 concepts of good vibe and is African inspired as well.
You wouldn't be part of Onomo if you don't have that vibrance. And we're looking forward to just making magic as all the Onomos around Africa.
Welcome back to Pesapal Cafe. We'll proceed with our interaction. I think we'll go straight to Anthony. Now that we've talked a lot about Pesapal security, we've talked about the 3D Secure, we've talked about PCI DSS, encryption, fraud detection. Now, for our listeners, Anthony, can you share maybe some real life examples of fraud incidents that Pesapal has helped prevent?
Thank you, Hannah. Just to give an idea of the sort of things we are talking about, the FBI reported fraud cases of worth $10 billion. In the UK, the reports of fraud were $6 billion worth dollars, which is around 5 billion British pounds. The Reserve Bank of India reported around 20 billion worth of fraud. So fraud is a reality. It happens. For us at Pesapal, we've been able to deal with fraud in a very sustainable way. And one of the things we've done is ensured that our merchants are fully protected from all fraud attacks. The fraud attacks, as we'd said, come in various ways. Some of the examples we've had is that there was a fraud that happened in a bank in Uganda. I won't mention the name, but that fraud was around $20,000, and we were able to catch it at Pesapal, and the funds were returned back to that bank. The fraudsters were using our system to buy things, and we were able to catch. And we've also had other cases. Just recently, we had a fraud case that the transactions totaled to nearly $40,000, and we were still able to catch it at Pesapal. So basically, what we are telling our merchants is that they will be able to receive our full attention, and they will be able to be protected when they work with us. We've had other cases whereby cards were stolen, and every time a stolen card is used through the mix of our tools, we are able to tell that a transaction is not okay, and are able to take the necessary action, which includes refunding the transaction, refunding the funds back to the card of origin, and also with the added tools of reporting to the regulators such transactions where our merchant might be threatened by such people, because these are situations that occur. So we've had very many cases. It's just that for purposes of this discussion, we might not be able to divulge and say this merchant or that merchant, but we can tell you that we've had pretty interesting cases whereby we have been able to tell that these transactions were not okay, and we've been able to take the necessary action. So our merchants should feel that Pesapal is able to protect them. Just as an indicator, our fraud rate, which is we are meant to keep our fraud rate at a certain level as per Visa, MasterCard, Amex, and other scheme rules. The current fraud rate is below 0.2%. That means that we are able to give our merchants value, and that they are able to be to not think about fraud, because 99.8% of our transactions will be able to pass muster. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. That's really highly impressive. Now that you've talked about Pesapal's role, what role do the merchants play in mitigating this risk of online fraud? How can they work with us to ensure that this is not carried out.
Thank you. One of the things we recommend to our merchants is to be realistic about their business expectations. That means that whenever they face online and offline transactions do not differ too much in terms of the fact that at the end of the day, somebody is going to give out funds and they expect a product or a service. Therefore, our merchants should not expect that there will come a situation where they will receive funds and the clients are not going to get any product, because then that will translate to fraud on our end as the acquirer of record. And therefore, we expect that our merchants will be able to inform us in case in case a scammer tries to get to them or to use them as an avenue to collect stolen funds. We also expect that our merchants will be able to keep records, especially due to the fact that we have a situation whereby some transactions are 3D secure. That means that the liability lies with the cardholder. However, that liability is not absolute. Our merchant is still required to offer a product or a service, and the only way to prove that a product or a service has been offered is to provide documentation. That means that if a product has been delivered, the delivery notes should be kept. And if the product was not delivered, the merchant should make an attempt to either deliver or refund the transaction, because the cardholder does have a right to issue chargebacks, and the cardholder will not necessarily connect with the merchant and ask them for the funds directly. The cardholder can decide to go directly to their bank without necessarily resorting to our merchants. Therefore, our merchants should not get surprised or be unhappy when the cardholder asks back for their money, which is essentially what a chargeback is, a client asking back for their money. We also expect that the merchants will not get into bed with scammers, because at the end of the day, a reputation is very important. And if the reputation is soiled by people who are unknown, it is the merchant who remains. The scammer will go and find other ways or devices of scamming, but the merchant will have a soiled reputation. So we expect them to talk to us and inform us every time that a scammer has contacted them, and also to be on the lookout for things that might be off. For example, if somebody says that they are no longer interested in a service, but they want the funds to go to them through means other than the Pesapal method that they used to pay, that is a red flag which the merchant should not be able to fall into. And we will be here, and at Pesapal, we are very open 24/7, 365 to ensure that a merchant receives the best service in terms of fraud protection, and to ensure that they receive their funds on time. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. So basically, it's a team effort. You know, as we do our part, we also expect the merchants to do their part and be keen on the red flags and contact Pesapal anytime there's something suspicious. So that has been brought out well. Thank you, Anthony, for that. I can just maybe Ben, you can touch on our various solutions. How can we use, or what various solutions do we have to, to meet the needs of these e-commerce merchants?
Thank you, Hannah. Basically, in store as Pesapal, we have quite a lot of the online solutions. ranging from the payment pages. We have the invoice. Basically, it's a template integrated in with payments, specifically detailing the different types of goods and services, or the intended quote from merchant to their customer with payment options there. Then we have reserve port for our hotels. We have plugins. We have Ticket Sasa. Yeah, just a few to mention. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ben. Can we have some questions? Some of you typed some questions in the chat. Let's just go through some of them and have our team answer. We have a question. Some banks are still using 2D. Will Pesapal accept these cards? Isao, can I throw this to you?
I can answer partially, but I think Anthony would be better placed.
Okay. All right.
It's yes. You see, for 3D Secure, it's a requirement from standards, but some banks have not implemented. So we implement our 3D Secure in a way that ensures that even for those banks that are still on 2D, they will be able to receive our service. Yes, we will accept those cards.
Okay, thank you. We have another question. How do I sign up and what are the requirements? This would go to Ben or Alpha.
So signing up with us is a very swift process. All you need is to have a registered business, either company, business name, or even an individual, as long as you have a trading license. So you submit to us copies of the business registration documents, and then we issue with our sign-up form, which entails the terms and conditions. As soon as we agree, then we can maintain for you an account on our system, and then go ahead and implement the suitable solution for your business. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Alpha. How do we deal with AML transactions and transaction reversals? Anthony?
Okay, for transaction reversals, the reversals are only done when the merchant has requested for it, and they have to request for it. And once they do, they contact us, we will be able to reverse back the transaction to the card that it came from. That is the best practice as per the industry standards, and that's how we deal with it. There was another query, I think. AML, we deal with it on the basis that we report to the Financial Intelligence Authority in Uganda. In Kenya, we report to the Financial Reporting Center, and in Tanzania, we report to the Financial Intelligence Unit. All those requirements are part of what we adhere to in terms of regulator compliance, and we are able to look at AML in terms of also transactions through the transaction monitoring, which we deal with. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. I hope that answered your question. We have another question. Is there a possibility of having a free plugin for Odoo users like how it is on other platforms?
I guess that question is for me. Yes, there's a possibility. So it really is a factor of demand, which is why the most popular platforms are already supported. You have Shopify, you have WordPress. So another model that we are exploring or trying to encourage is that developers, just like on, let's say, Google Play Store or iOS Play Store, is to encourage developers to build these plugins and then they can always submit it to us, and then we post it on our store, so that you have full credit and you can maintain it on your own, and also that helps build your portfolio. So right now the plugins available are listed on our website, on our developer website. However, if you have a plugin that you'd like to submit to us, you can always bring it on board.
Okay, thank you, Esau. There was one more question. This is just a suggestion. Yusuf was of the view that our team should create a plugin for ZenCart. Okay, I'll pass
That's
that.
the same answer.
It's the same. Okay. All right. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for the comments that have come in. As we conclude, maybe Ben, can you share some success stories? Maybe one or two success stories of businesses that have seen growth and success after their partnership with Pesapal.
Thank you. When we talk about the different types of customers that we've dealing with or that we've worked with, we have quite many, but I'll just mention out two. For instance, in the hotel industry, if I can talk about Fairway Hotel. Okay, so for the hotel, I can talk about Fairway. Then in the tour business, I can talk about Encounter Tours Limited. Then in the retail, I can talk about Rogue Telcom. So why I'm mentioning all these is because these we've started the journey from way back, even before our regulations, and they've entrusted us with business. So they are using like Isa was saying. So the demand for the different products came through. Some of them came through from these people. And since we are customer centric, we could come up with something that suits their need. As we speak, these use almost all of our products. They use the POS, they use the plugins, they use the APIs and the reserve port. So it's a good thing to see the customers that we've come together from afar. Over the period I'm talking about is over 7 years as we grow the relationship. So as Pesapal, we are so grateful for that partnership, for the relationship, and we are looking forward to growing it more and much better places. Thank you so much, Hannah.
Thank you, Ben. I guess I'll take this time to thank all our speakers as we wrap up this webinar. Thank you for sharing your insights. We've learned quite a lot. We've, just to highlight some of the new features that Pesapal API 3 possesses. You've brought out the user interface, how it has improved the customer experience, how our merchants have access to multiple payment solutions, which have two-step. That has made it easier for them to receive payments. The technical support and customer support that we offer our merchants, and security. Clearly, the team is doing a wonderful job to prevent fraud, and we have seen our merchants being, impacted by that. So thank you once again. We appreciate each and every one of you, including those listening in, and we look forward to seeing you again at the next webinar. All right. Have a good afternoon. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.